Do I feel that Killer Klowns will be the game that finally kills Dead by Daylight? Absolutely not. And to be totally honest with you, I have never been one of those people that's ever subscribed to the "this game is going to kill that game" memo. I've never really subscribed to that thinking. And to be totally honest with you, I think we as a community, and by community, I mean the asymmetrical horror genre and anybody that has consistently played these games, has become too used to Dead by Daylight being at the top of the pyramid of the genre and having competition, but only in waves. The only real quote-unquote competition that Dead by Daylight has ever had was Friday the 13th, and obviously we all know how that unfortunately turned out. However, ever since then, every asymmetrical horror game that has come out since really has not ever been able to hold a community longer than a couple of months. Most notably, VHS dying recently. We've had In Silence, we've had Last Year, we've had Hide or Die, we've even had Home Sweet Home Survive, which I know still holds an audience in certain regions, but it has definitely dwindled from where it once was. Now, Killer Klowns, I do have to say, I absolutely do feel that Killer Klowns will be Dead by Daylight's best competition since Friday the 13th. And the reason being is that I have never played an asymmetrical horror game since Friday the 13th where I have had this much fun and enjoyed the experience, both on the clown, or in this case the killer side, or on the human, aka survivor side. And it seems like that is a very popular consensus across the community and across the player base. The game's really enjoyable in terms of, I think they took some of what worked in Friday the 13th and implemented it into their game, and then tried some totally new concepts that the genre has never seen before. For instance, the party-like concept that Friday the 13th had, and I think was one of the pillars that made it such a hit and so entertaining, exists in Killer Klowns with the 7v3 aspect. It adds a whole nother dynamic to the killer side to where friends can play together. There's that sense of co-op and working together that the killer sides really never get to experience in these games other than in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But to be totally blunt, that game is not doing as well as I think many of us had hoped, unfortunately, and hopefully that changes over time. But talking in modern times with the current state of it, it's just not there. Where Killer Klowns, it already is upon launch. In addition to that, the audio cues that the clowns get from noise that the humans make is very reminiscent of Friday the 13th. However, I do like that they took that concept a step further where the humans themselves can actually see what level of noise they're making. And then for the totally new concepts, the mini game, once you have escaped as a human or been killed, in order to help out the rest of your teammates that are still in the game, is a phenomenal concept. And I think the team working on this game really looked at death or escaping in these asymmetrical horror games as an opportunity to inject some fun where there's been boredom in a lot of these games. Once you die in asymmetrical horror games, your experience is really just that of a spectator and hoping that the gameplay that you're watching is entertaining enough to hold your attention, because if not, you're either leaving to hopefully end up in a game quickly, or you're sitting there riding the rest of the game out hoping that your friends make it. But after hours of playing, that can get really redundant and boring. So they saw that as an opportunity and a platform to make the game more fun for everybody involved. It helps out the current players that are still in the game, and it keeps people hooked that have died in game or that have already escaped to where they can still help their teammates out and be of service. I really love this concept. And then overall, there's just so much personality in this game between the bright coloring of the game and of the settings. The fact that right upon launch, we get 5 maps. There's been so many asymmetrical horror games that they come out and we only get 3 maps, 2 maps, whatever the case may be. And we're waiting 3 to 6 months to get a new batch of content. And all that's involved in that batch of content is a new map, a new killer, and a new survivor. But after a couple of weeks, that stuff gets old too. If there's not enough options. But coming right out the gate with 5 maps and each map having different times of day and night keeps the game really, really fresh. And I hope that continues to be the case. My only concern, and I think it's going to be a concern with any asymmetrical horror game that comes out because I've experienced death way too much when it comes to these games, is just the consistent updates that need to occur, the new features that come into a game over time, and how well those new features are implemented. Because as we've learned from many games as well, an idea can be great, but if it's not implemented properly, it means nothing, and it actually becomes more of an aggravation for the entire community because you just get them excited. You get us, the players, excited, and then when said thing doesn't work or something gets implemented and 3 other things break, it just becomes incredibly frustrating, and it creates an element of distrust between the player base with the developers. The other thing is just fresh content, like adding new maps, new skins, and things like that over time. I think will be really interesting to see what their game plan is for that. But I also, knee-jerk reaction, I just hope that there's a consistent source or sense of progression for players. That's something that's really important for me. Once we level up enough, we're going to have everything unlocked. I just hope that they come out with something or come out with new content regularly to where people that consistently play the game or play the game for hours each week can still pursue things at a regular time frame or on a regular frequency, if that makes sense, as much as possible. But the base game itself is really entertaining. It's a joy to play, and I played 6 hours of it the day it came out, and I've really enjoyed it. So again, I don't really subscribe to the killing of one game or really just the killing of Dead by Daylight. Everybody talks about it when these games come out. I feel like there's a large part of the player base, of the communities around asymmetrical horrors, that it's not about killing Dead by Daylight or even really replacing Dead by Daylight as number one. I mean, there's some people that might be interested in that conversation, but for me, it's really just we need options in the asymmetrical horror space, and we need to stop fantasizing over which one is the be-all, end-all. There's so many other genres out there, whether it be MMORPGs or FPS games, that have a multitude of options that they can pick from that offer consistent entertainment and carry a very healthy player base for a very long time, and that doesn't exist in the asim horror space. And I think that needs to become the new trend, and I'm hoping Killer Klowns is the beginning of that trend finally becoming a reality. Another aspect of Killer Klowns that I feel adds a lot of character to the game is the array of kills that the clowns can implement and pick from to use on the humans, and I think it's actually an area that they can expand upon as the game grows and as time goes on. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of Killer Klowns. Are you enjoying the game? Are you enjoying playing clown? Are you enjoying playing human? Do you have a preference over which side you play? And what would you like to see added into the game to continue to grow the game and offer a positive experience for the player base? Also, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, it'd mean a lot if you did. Hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I upload here on the channel, whether it be a YouTube short or a full-length video. And make sure you hit that like button. It really does help out the video so much. It helps me out so much, and I greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in live streams, I do live stream every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on TikTok and Twitch. So I'd love to have you follow me on there and come by a live stream and hang out and play some Killer Klowns with me sometime. Killer Klowns is the main game that I play, and I also play indie or single-player horror games on Mondays. So we'd love to have you come through and come join us. I also have a Discord server. It's a great way to stay connected with the community and get to know us that much more. And you get announcements on there as well for when live streams go live. Thank you guys so much for your support. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you at the next one.